I think keep.
Are we here? Are we here? We're here. We're here. Hey, we're back live, y'all. Sorry about that.
Back like we never left.
Hey, man, the sponsors came in. They wanted to get paid. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to do my normal shout-outs. Shout out Spotify again. Shout out Spreaker. Are y'all there? Comment section, gang. I need y'all to chime in. We had to pay some bills, y'all, as they say. Gave y'all a little commercial. This will actually be labeled as Candid Talk 7.1. But we're back live. And actually, when you guys chime back in, y'all let me know. And we're going to keep it going. I know we are live in effect. And we will also continue to move on with these topics. Now, to my people at home, how are you feeling about the rhetoric that's being spilled out here? Because I'm telling y'all, I'm in the zone right now.
Well, I'm with you, my brother.
In the zone right now. How do you feel?
It's a whole lot going on right now that really needs to get expunged and exposed. You feel me?
Exactly. And we need to have dialogue like this between young people. We really do. We don't have a lot of dialogue at all. So to have this right now, Mr. Reed, is there, how do I say this? To the middle America, the sleeping ones, is there anything that you want to say to them that can help them wake up? Because we got a lot of corruption going on.
Where I come from, I love my family. I love my people. I can only speak on my own experiences throughout life. And with that being said, what I find amongst the middle class of people throughout America, there are a lot of false hopes that are created. You get your acre and a mule, your house and your little family. You work your little 9 to 5, but you're never really free. You're paying taxes. You're paying to have property in certain states, i.e. the state of Virginia charges you property tax for owning a vehicle or a RV or a boat. You have to pay yearly to even have those things registered in your name. When you go to buy land, think about it. You strike oil or find gold on your land. You do not own the rights to none of that money. You only own the rights to the land that sits on the topsoil. Anything that's deeper than that, the government owns the mineral rights. These are things that the middle America do not listen to because we listen to DBJ7. We listen to WSET. We listen to NBC. We listen to CBS. We listen to CNN and MSNBC. We listen to these different news outlets and allow them to preach to us what we have available to us without giving us the complete information. Now, we want to talk about the presidential election and how our elected officials are put into place. What the middle class do not receive from our news outlets is that we justifiably do not elect our chief of staff of this nation. We elect our electoral college for our particular state. Now, within each individual state, this is a little bit of 9th and 10th grade government class for you all. That may have skipped that class, or you was skipping class. I don't blame you. I would have did the same thing. My parents wouldn't have been on my back the way they was, and God bless them. But this electoral college, no matter what their percentage is within that state, they come together within their collective minds and what in their collective pockets, for which have been greased by the so-called lobbyists. That are there in Washington and there within every capital within each state. These lobbyists, which they have been categorized as, are made up of a collective of your business owners, your millionaires and billionaires that live within the states that you have no clue what their names are. But you just know that somebody owns the whole block, i.e. Lynchburg of Main Street and downtown, from the Virginian to the Craddock to the My Duke's Diners or R.A.'s Bistro. You find these kind of people, they are your lobbyists. So our electoral college is what matters. So your little minute elections, pay attention to them. Because those are the ones who actually make the grander stage when it comes time for the important elections that can effectively change or alter our way of daily lives.
Very true, man. And I think that middle America need to take time to just look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, man. Take time
What
to.
Michael said?
What more Michael said? What did he say? The man in the mirror.
That's what he said.
Take time to look at the man in the mirror, and think about your children. Think about your future. Think about what really needs to happen here. We really need to have a common decency about the whole situation as far as race relations. It's not hard at all to get through what we need to get through. But what we have to do is people got to get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? There's some people that got to check some friends that they ain't never checked before. There's some people that may have to disassociate themselves from everything before, to make some real change. I really do believe that. As far as you're going to always have real racist people. You got a Klan for a reason. We know that. But when we get people like the government involved and they can, take on the Klan, they had no problem taking on the Black Panthers. They had no problem with that. No problem with taking down the Black Panthers and saying that they were deemed as a threat to society. Isn't that amazing? The Black Panther was deemed as a threat to society, but the Klan, who has, countless bodies on their name, they are so proud they will make sure they done it.
There's a whole movie about the FBI investigating them, but they are not labeled on the terrorist list in Washington.
Facts.
But yet the Black Panthers are.
Facts. Very true. Very true. And that's amazing. That's a dynamic you got to think about right there. And what I say to all of that is clearly you got some Klan members that's involved in some higher places. You dig what I'm saying?
The one percenters.
So the one percenters. You dig what I'm saying? So you got that going on. So it's kind of hard to penetrate what we need to penetrate when we got people that's in the roadblocks to set up. But what you need is people to work their way up that ladder, get some awareness going on, and once you get a following, a real base of people who are behind you and strong-willed, you can do anything you want to. It's that damn simple. So we got to realize that we got to, mess with the nuts and bolts and the screws of this thing and get this thing right.
Now, I will say this, if you let me chime in, my brother.
Yeah.
If you even go back over the course of history, even back, let's skip past the civil rights movement. Let's skip past World War I and World War II. Let's skip past the Vietnam and Korean Wars. Let's go all the way back. Let's even skip past the American Indian War. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the Revolutionary War. Excuse me. While the white America was all fighting this war, mm-hmm. the black man, i.e., freed slaves, were cast upon them a duty to run the 13 colonies at that time, soon to be 13 states, and govern them. With that being said, you had a black man that basically was the president of these now United States, then 13 colonies. You had a black electoral college in every colony throughout that 13 colonies.
Yes.
You had a black house. You had a African American ran Senate. These were things that we was prominent as while we was able to take control of the land that we have conquered away from not only the American Indians, the Native Americans, the Native Indians, the ones who were here initially. And we don't want to get into that subject topic because I can go all the way back to Pangea with that. Mm-hmm. So we was essential to not only building up this land after the Revolutionary War and making it the grand nation that it is, from building up and fortifying its walls with architecture that was unknown to other areas. Because you even go back to Africa's architecture, they still don't know how the black man was able to create it. So with that being said, not only with that, their agricultural advantages that the black man has presented. Mm-hmm. The black man has been there from the time of beginning and the creation of this nation. Mm-hmm. And we have been the stepping stone and the building block to be able to make this nation the grandstand that it is today. So with all of that being said, the only way a black nation will be able to chime in and be able to make this country rectify itself to be able to go to a time of prosperity, because if you look over the course of history, every time this country has been prosperous, the black man and the black woman and the African culture of this nation has started to rise. Mm-hmm. After the civil rights movement, we moved forward extra 10 to 15 years from it. This nation was at its greatest economical feat that has been throughout the history of this nation. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the era of the crack era, the 80s,
yes,
the 90s, and the early 2000s. These were the epic center. We didn't have to worry about the fall of Wall Street. We didn't have to worry about the stock market being crashed. We didn't have to worry about the housing market, the real estate market was at an all-time high. Unemployment was varying, but the job pay rate was high.
Yes.
So these are things while black men was controlling the delegation of laws and circumstances unto the people, while we had control of the House and the Senate, because our electoral college was able to put people into place.
Yes, and we have a listener who says, I'm going to get you chime on this. A listener says, just like the Central Park was originally a black town that was taken down. All right, exactly. You have, in so many circumstances where black people have gathered themselves, built a civilization, built an economy, and has been fluent in doing that. And the main, enemy has been white America, who feels threatened. If you go back to, is it North Carolina? And I think it was, let me get this year right, 1876, I believe, something
late 1870s,
something
early
like that.
Early 1880s. Yes. I'm familiar with what you're speaking on.
If you Google that year in North Carolina, you will see there was a prominent black town that had lawyers, had judges, had bankers, and they had an economy that was flowing, very fluent. And what happened was there was an election that needed to happen, and the white side said, we gotta handle that, because this is threatening to us, because they are right. Instead of joining us and making America really great like it's supposed to be, they took that as an opportunity to tear us down and take over. And what they did was they rigged the damn election. They had it to where you had armed people at the damn voting booths ready to blast your head off. You coming in there trying to vote for black. So what happened is you had a white delegate win, and everything turned. He took over the town. He shut down the banks. He some of the main buildings that the black people were meeting at to do prominent things, they burnt the damn thing down, y'all. You find pictures right now. Right now, white men standing in front of it, very proud and happy that they took this civilization down. And that is something right there that's very telling. Because that thread of anger, that thread of fear between what the elites have went on throughout time, they are very afraid. And I want to get this real clear. I'm not talking about all white people. We're talking about the elites. White people, you got to understand, there's a difference between you and the elites.
Well, I'll say this, especially the white woman. I love my black queens. I have a black queen myself that's with child. I honor her with everything within me. But the white woman should understand the plight of the black man and of the black culture more than anybody else.
That's very true.
The white woman, granted, the black man and the black woman have been portrayed as slaves and beaten all throughout history on television. But the white woman has also been portrayed as a pet, so to speak, of the household. Yeah, you tend to the children, you tend to the cooking, and you tend to your man, whatever that case may be, how that man wants you to tend to him. And guess what? If he doesn't, there are shows where white men would beat on white women. White women did not even evolve the capability to be able to vote until the black man was able to vote.
Boom! Gunshot right there. The white woman couldn't even vote until black folks rode for the right to vote. Another gunshot. That'll show you enough right there of what the elites think of even their own white women, their mothers, their sisters, their wives, their daughters. That's amazing right there. Okay? It took that long for them to be able to even vote. So to the Karens of the world,